Hello, hello everyone. Welcome back. We're here on LMU once again. Welcome, welcome. For some more LMP3 racing. We are here at Portimao for round 2 of the SROL series. We're right at pit exit. Oh, car stalled. Pit limiter off would be a good idea. Yes, we are here for round 2 of the SRL series. My first series, my first races in the LMP3 after last week, where we were at Spa for the 100-minute race. We got second place, if you weren't there. We made some mistakes. Our pace was looking good, but with the mistakes, we weren't looking good for a P2 up until some strategy. Good strategy put ourselves back up into second place. Today we are at Portimao, second race. I've not done any laps between last week and last week's race and this race, apart from the few sort of hour of practice that we get before qualifying in the server. Pace is looking good, looking better than it was last week. We were sort of fighting throughout the session for the fastest time. So I think we could put a bit of a challenge on for the victory today. But Portimao, it's going to be very easy to make mistakes. A lot of corners where the LMP3 just wants to over-rotate. As we now head on to our first flying lap. I see the game already was a little bit quiet. I'll bump that up for the race. Now, if you didn't see last week in the LMP3, qualifying is pretty much a last lap wonder with how long it takes to get the tyres up to temperature. Every lap prior doesn't really matter as long as your final lap is good. There's some of the difficult parts. It's quite easy, just have the car come round on you. So just taking it easy as we bed the tyre in. Don't want to wear the tyres out too much till we get to our flying lap. Okay, I lifted there, but the game was like, nope, don't care. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It just would have been nice to have the banker laps in. Just in case something does happen. But yeah, it's a bit of a quiet LMP3 field this time. Only 8 cars, unfortunately. But we still do have a full grid. 37 cars here, most of which are the unrestricted LMP2s. And then we've also got a bunch of GT3s. Of course, as you didn't see last week, we have 2 times fuel usage, 2 times tyre wear on. Already into the 41s at the top. As we go on our first push lap now. Using all of the curb on the exit of turn 4. Now the trickiest corners on the track, or trickiest corner. Get the car turned into 7, careful, apply throttle, don't spin the car around. Easy to say, very difficult to avoid when you're pushing for a flying lap. Careful not to lock up over the crest into this double right-hander. They'll lay on the brakes, run ourselves out wide. This penultimate corner's tricky. Track just falls away from you. Very easy to run out wide on the entry, especially with how difficult it is to see the corner with the A-pillar on the Leisure LMP3 car that we have in the Mon Ultimate. Our first flying lap at low 42. Sure we can find a bit more time than that. Purple opening sector, as we're already 2 tenths up. Oh, we're just snapping round through turn 8. Also had a lock up on the front right. No good middle sector. Ooh, car wanting to understeer a bit through turn 13. So as we come up to line, I was, into the 40s. Not too surprised at that. Final qualifying lap Are they on the brakes into turn 3? Has cost us a 10.30. Deep into turn 5. That's cost us a lot more time. 4/10 down. So we need to find a second if we want to take pole position here. And there goes the car. Tricky. Yeah, it looks like it'll be P2. So yeah, 14 LMP2s, 15 GT3s. So, wait then, still a couple of people on final laps. Ah, oh, darn it! Bumped to P3. 3 thousandths of a second. That's all right. Won't put new tires on. But yeah, we'll only drop to P3. But we definitely have quite a bit more time there. And the qualifying lap, a few tenths.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
So then, put in full fuel. Oh. I wish LMU didn't put you on the curb for the starts. It's just annoying. It says it's going to be a 46 lap race. So we need to save about 2.5 laps. Let me just do a quick math calculation. .34 would be our number if we wanted to do that. I think it's possible. Whether it will be quick enough, I don't know. It'll save you a short splash and dash at the end of the race. I'm not sure. I don't think we'll be changing tyres this race. The cool tyres, I think, are just too costly. Too costly when it comes to putting new ones on. But we get ready for the race start here. Second row of the P3s inside. Waiting for the start.
Green flag, green flag.
Wasn't the best reaction, wasn't the worst. Try and sneak up the inside, which we do. Person just being really cautious. LMP3 goes spinning, Kirk goes in avoidance. And we pick up P2 again from that. Gotta settle in here then. If we can save some fuel, even if we don't save this enough to prevent a second pit stop, saving a bit of fuel, you know, could just be the difference between having a short enough pit stop to jump one of the cars around us. But yeah, good opening lap. Stay out of trouble. On the back of the leader now. One take it easy on the tyres. We're hoping to take these tyres to the end of the race, remember? Got P2 making their way through. Of course, since these cars don't have virtual energy, we don't get to know what everyone else is doing fuel-wise. Oh, we were much closer to the mark last lap. Can't afford to save much more with how close the cars are behind. Fastest lap of the race despite saving as much fuel as we did. Yeah, we hit our number last lap. Ideally, we need to save a little bit more than that, just with the extra usage you have on the opening at the start of a race. Game being generous this time. Either leading. Not sure what the leader's doing at the moment. I have just closed up quite a bit to them. Despite our fuel savings, I wonder if they're saving more fuel. Ooh. Cars behind fighting. They're having a good tussle. But you see how much time it's losing them. You know, that gap that was about a second has opened up so much. One of the cars has had a spin too. I got distracted by the yellow flag. Went off a lap. That's... I really needed to not have a lap like that. Just keep the pressure on the leader. Yeah, that's basically free fuel saving they can do, you know, without any pressure. Now, if we can set fastest lap for the race while fuel saving, that'll be good. Kind of need it to keep the pressure on. Not sure how much fuel savings going on behind us. Slowed down quite a bit that lap. Don't know if that's just a messy lap from the leader or if they fuel saved more. Yeah, and we hit the same number that lap. Too tight on the inside. Oh, P2 has had an issue, dropping down the order. Just noticed it on the relative. That we're right back on the leader now. Oh, and leader's made a mistake. We'll go 3 for the lead. It's little things like that that will cost you the race. And I will say if the leader puts pressure on us, tries to get back in front of us, while we try and still hit our fuel save number. Like that, good exit, turn 3, 3, 4. I'll say I did kind of like having a car to follow though. Oh, we're looking at a 47 lap race now. It's on the edge. It's definitely a very different experience in a race like this when you're in a car that doesn't have virtual energy and you can't see what everyone else is doing. Of course, traffic is going to play into this as well. Looks like we're catching a couple of stragglers from the GT3 field. couple of people that might have had issues on lap 1. Or just one person at the moment. Of course, not the easiest to make a pass like that while trying to feel safe, but I think that Lexus has held up P2. Deep into there. Being the lead car in these situations is more difficult. When you're following someone, you know, that really just spurs you on that little bit, gives you really something to focus on, a target. When you're the car in front, you know, you don't have that. You just have the car behind sort of putting a little bit of pressure on you. Can make you wonder if you're doing the right thing or not. Or if they're doing something different. And that they have you beat in a way that you're not aware of. P3 is starting to close in. P2 closing up a bit as well. So I might not be pushing hard enough. I'm losing time on my delta. And just sort of this complacency of leading. Might mean I'm not pushing hard enough. I'm just giving up a little bit of time. Not necessarily, you know, saving more fuel. Just not being quick enough. Hey, Yuan. Thank you, I will certainly try. Especially around here, where the worry of making a mistake is quite high. Both of us made mistakes in qualifying. Or not qualifying, in practice. And both of us have already made small mistakes in this race so far. So we know how quickly it can go wrong. This is a better lap now. 20 minutes into the race. Turned in too early. Look, just how a good half a lap has brought the gap back up. Give us a bit of breathing room. We are slowly catching the GT3 traffic. I think it'll be sort of easier to save fuel, or we'll not use as much fuel in the second stint, just from the tyres being more worn. Not having as much grip, I think will just mean we naturally use less grip, less fuel. So if we do have to save a 24th lap in one of these stints, it's going to be the second stint, plus we don't have that extra drive to the start line to worry about. And sort of the first lap where we didn't really save any fuel. I'll check the tyres. Yeah, front right bar that gets used around here. And this is where things get more difficult. The traffic. That P2 is still there on the relative. Of course, there isn't the biggest pace difference between these cars in the first place. That's actually quite nerve-wracking. Apex in there somewhere. How was that orange? I didn't even run off the edge of the curb. Oh, P2 time as well. Just to make things even more interesting. As if GT3s weren't enough. I will say, the practice session was so chaotic. When I came out of the pits on cold tyres, as in amongst a group of GT3s and LMP2s, and another LMP3, it was mad. It was so mad. That even on the cold tyres, I was passing the LMP3, on warm tyres just because of how, you know, caught up in the traffic they were, how much of it there was. Ooh, P2 just got barged out of the way by Spike there in the background. And this is what I mean by things getting chaotic. Got to feel safe more here just because of the... the GT3 plus the P2 coming out of the pits. Skirt the GT3 into a moment. So that's 3 of what I think is 11 LMP2s that we're down to, judging by the fact that P2 that's apparently stationary at this part of the track is P12. Here comes P4 from the P2s. P2 coming into the pits. That's intriguing. 7 laps till we pit. Just realized something. I haven't practiced pit entry. Second place at a moment behind us. They dropped back a few tenths through those couple of corners. Cars coming out of the pits between us and second place. That's going to give us a bit more time. Let me outlap. They're probably in cool tires. Yeah, I mean, that cost us a second. That's multi-class. Hey, Arbel. Very much know I can win. Gap's opened up to 2 seconds now. Traffic. P2 coming through on an out lap. So potentially cool tyres making things more difficult, which is why I suspect second place is dropped to nearly 2.5 seconds back on that lap, despite us, you know, getting held up behind the Mustang for a second as well. And look at this, we're not going to lose a thing here. And we got past the GT3 with minimal time loss, which I don't think is going to be the case for the second place. Oh, and there's more P2s. Traffic is giving at the moment. When will it take away from us is the question. That P2 is going exploring into the gravel. Four seconds lead now. That P2 should not have sent it in there. I mean, there's a number of corners where that move would have worked. Turn 1 at Portimao is not one of them. It's too tight. I was worried there for a moment that they were just gonna spin into the side of us. Luckily that didn't happen. Just moving across early there to indicate we want the left-hand side. That coast phase was way too long, but with traffic, we were going to lose the time anyway. Now we've lost a bit of time to second place again. Gap's back down to 2 seconds. But of course, we do have cars between us and them. Which is a bit of time. It's like a time investment. But you don't know if the time investment is gonna, you know, if you're gonna get profit from it, or if you're gonna lose out, you know, how much time exactly they're gonna lose. There's no, there's just the LMP3 that's pitted between us and second place now. 3 laps till we pit. Car's been off exploring in the gravel. Two P3s right in front of us. I have no idea what's happening there. I was just like, where do I go? Someone give me a gap. down to 4.2 litres a lap, which is good going. Two laps till we pit. Yeah, we're going to come out of the pits after the 40-minute mark, after the halfway mark, which is good. Third place is already pitted. They're gonna have to do a splash and dash. I can imagine those people are wondering how on earth are the leaders fuel saving and going as quickly as they are. Train of 3 GT3s. Now, see if we were not limited to a certain strategy, I would pit now. Well, I think about pitting to try and avoid some of this traffic. Wouldn't be worth pitting. I don't want, no, I don't want to give you slipstream because I want to lift and coast here. And if you slipstream, you're going to be closer when it gets to the braking zone. Go make things sketchier. Personal best of the race from second place. They might be pushing for these final couple of laps. Full fuel, no tyres. Exactly what we want. That's... I want to say they've put new tyres on. See, our tyres are barely below 80%. We've been taking good care of them. We don't need new tyres. Car did not like how I tapped the brake entering the corner there. So we're coming into the pits with 1.5 litres. I'll shorten our pit stop ever so slightly. I didn't want to hit the brakes any harder because I might have locked up there, but that might be tight. I'm gonna be so annoyed myself if I did speed there. Because you've got the crest, so if you hit the brakes hard, you know, you just lock. And if you lock, you'll speed and damage your tyres. 4.16 is our number if we want to do 24 laps. But looking at that, I don't think we do need to do 24 laps. So I don't. I think they changed tyres though. And I think changing tyres is just the wrong... 4 seconds. No, they didn't change tyres. That's why you do a practice pit entry. I think I got that time. It's still closer than it should have been. The current leader still will have to do another pit stop because they pitted too early, especially if it does go to a 47th lap. We got clear track though. The only annoying thing there is the tires cooled down a little bit, which isn't helpful. Right, we need to hit 4.16 and hope it goes 47 laps. They're doing 44s. Couldn't quite see where the Aston was exactly because of just the angle of the steering wheel. Used too much fuel that lap. Your brain's telling you, oh, you should go for a cut back around that corner. But with the elevation and how easily the rear end spins around on you, it's just not possible. Still too much fuel. Still too much fuel. Only by 0.1, but we're already in a fuel deficit, so over-consuming by any degree is not helpful. Yeah, that traffic didn't help this lap. I think we're technically in a bit of a race for second. Because with the leader having to splash and dash, they'll of course be trundling through pit lane, which we did. But they'll be stopping in their pit box for a particular period of time. Let me Mustang. That was unnecessary. costing us both time for no reason. Overconsumed. That's inside curb. I went a bit deep into that corner to leave the Mustang room, but apparently that wasn't enough room. Not sure if they were on old tyres or not. New P2 leader behind us. That poke of the nose up the inside of the right-hander wasn't clever. Just cost us both time, since we both had to compromise our lines through the right-hander. This is time we can't afford to lose, because it might cost us P2. That's good cooperation from the GT3. Cost us as little time as possible, for both of our sakes. Right, the car we're fighting for P2's entered pit lane. We're gonna have a bit of a gap, it looks like, to them, which is good. Gap's down to 13 seconds to the leader. Which is going to make this second place all the more depressing. Oh yeah, we have second place in lock. "29 seconds. I don't see them closing that up. To go quick enough, they would need new tyres, and if they have new tyres, they'd be cooled, and thus they'd lose a lot more time over the next 10 minutes. When we came out of the pits, the gap to the car leading again, harsh. Why is that 0.5? That it very easily should have been a 0.25. But yeah, the gap was 21 seconds. It's now 13. We've gained 18 seconds. We're a little short on fuel, but not massively. This is going to get awkward. Oh, GT3 dead. Thing is, I'm doing so much fuel saving now that if the race is only 46 laps, and I do get a few laps where I can just full push, I've kind of lost all my reference points. It'll be such a risk to do full push at this stage because I've no idea how the car's going to react on the fuel load and the tyres. And with the time that we're gaining on the car in front, I have to imagine they're saving for a 47th lap. Like, if they're not saving for a 47th lap, then I'm not, you know, I would expect them to be matching my pace. You know, they weren't that slow in stint 1. And the only reason why they'd be saving more fuel than me at the moment is because they didn't save in the first part of this stint, then realised, oh, hang on, might need to save a lot more. But the closer we get to the end, the more it's looking like a 46 lap race. Thing is, I don't even know if we could full push from now to the end of the race. I don't know if we've saved enough fuel for that, and on the off chance it does just tick back up to 47. You know, be in a lot of trouble. Quick look at the tyres. Yeah, go be careful, 3 left-handers. The front right hasn't worn nearly as much as the rear right. You know, so that's going to create instability. Yeah, that's something we'd have to watch out for if we did go full push. See, if the leader is genuinely struggling for pace, and that's the right reason why we're gaining 1 to 2 seconds a lap, then yeah, technically, slim chance of the win here. But I can't imagine they're struggling that much. Ten minutes to go. Apex in there somewhere, Ferrari. If I want to win this race, I need to hope that the leader makes a mistake or has the worst traffic luck possible. And I've already had pretty bad luck this race. So I'm still very tight on my number. We are getting to the point where I can start trusting that it's accurate. You know, and could sort of take the risk of starting to push more. But I don't think that's going to make the difference. 2 leaders fight for the lead in LMP2. I'd rather the second car wasn't there. That cost me time. But you can't blame them for, you know, following the leader through if they are fighting for the lead. It's not impossible that while fighting for the lead, they have a crash with the leading P3 car. And while doing this fuel save, we've opened the gap to the car behind up to 40 seconds. So either they've taken new tyres and are struggling on them being cooled, or I don't know. Well, P2 did have incident. Unfortunately, didn't help us. If anything, that's only going to hurt us. So that BMW was much nicer than the Ferrari we passed a few laps ago, because they got into the apex and actually carried a bit more corner speed. So with the two leaders in LMP2 being separated, the chance of what we were hoping for happening has unfortunately decreased. Oh, it's now a battle for second. Oh, there's maybe still a chance here. Don't rule it out. Round the outside, turn 4 is scary and risky. Thank you, ad blocker. Now is not the time to be advertising your premium membership. Genuinely quite straining having a full white web page on my second monitor. Best slipstream. Fortunately, all the P2 cars have made it past the leader. LP2s are doing like 35s. Yeah, 2 laps to go. Flat out 2 laps. Gap is only 5 seconds. I was at 0.75. See, that wasn't the greatest of T1s. I forgot where the braking point is for turn 5 when you're not lifting coasting, to be honest. But it helped to get that LMP2 past us. This is where we need to be careful. Gap's now only 3 seconds. That is the leading P3 car. Gap is 3 seconds. I need them to be very low on fuel if I want a chance here, really. We can't maybe set fastest lap of the race. Lock into that turn. Ah. To be within 2 seconds after a drive-through is gutting. If we started pushing, I don't know how many 4 laps earlier, we would have been on their tail. No guarantee we would have been past them, but we would have been on their tail. We don't get fastest lap of the race. We were like 2/10 off. We might have got it on the final lap if I didn't have that lockup in the final sector. Uh, you can disappear. Uh, I am so gutted. I am honestly so gutted. Yeah, if I just braked 5 meters earlier into the pits, had done one practice pit entry during practice, yeah, would have had that. Probably would have had it easy, judging by that final stint. Yeah, um, uh, I've honestly not been that as frustrated as I am now. It's not really frustration, it's just sort of disappointment. Yeah, that one hurts. Haven't had one hurt like that in a good while. That's going to be it for today's stream. Thank you, Artie. Thank you, Johan. Thank you to those that were lurking. I hope you enjoyed that because as gutted as I am about the result, um, it was a good race. Yeah, we'll be back on Monday. We've got a new series on Monday. 65-minute races, LMP2s and GT3s. Should hopefully be interesting. We're starting at Silverstone for round one, and they'll be starting, um, I think, roughly same time as this stream, somewhere between 7:30 and 8 p.m. UK time. And then we'll be back for round three, where hopefully I don't mess it up so badly next week. We will be at either Imola or Silverstone next week. Yeah. So, again, thank you all very much for watching. Have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend, everyone. And hopefully, I'll see you again next week. Till then, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.